Okay guys, welcome to video 4 in our series Hidden in Plain Sight. Where we're talking about the controlling structures of the world. We showed you, this is reality. We're talking about the families that rule the world. We're talking about the Bank of International Settlements. Next on the order here are the central banks. Now, who are the central banks? Well, in the United States, that would be the Federal Reserve. In England, it would be the Bank of England, BOE. In China, the public's, the People's Bank of China. And don't think, by the way, China's not, the CCP isn't completely immune from influence from the Both Children family. Both Children family has influence everywhere. Everyone knows to tread lightly. You have Putin and the CCP that kind of exists a little bit outside of some of these power structures. You're always gonna have people like Putin that are gangsters that do what they wanna do. CCP is always gonna have their own goals, but these people know not to push back against the power that is set up here, okay? So you have this, now you have the central banks. So let's get a little bit more into how the central banks play a role in disseminating the information and value across the world.
I'm not a financial advisor.
Hey, I'm here to talk to you about central banks from Austin, Texas. Guys, let's talk about central banks and what they actually do. Now, here's the thing. Remember, we're looking at the systems of control, and we're looking at how the Bank of International Settlements transfers down to all the local central banks. The Bank of International Settlements, it is a community of central banks, all right? Now, here's the thing. What we're going to do here is we all need to understand, I need you to understand that your perception of the word bank is wrong. When you hear the word bank, most likely, you probably think of your bank, your local bank, your Chase Bank that you go to, right? But the local banks, the small banks and the medium-sized banks, not your branch banks from your major banks, like Chase, for instance, but your medium and your small banks, they don't really count. When we talk about banks, you need to think of it in terms of the global scale. You need to think of it in terms of the major banks, okay? You need to think of it central banks, okay? People's Bank of China, Federal Reserve, Bank of England, European Central Bank, okay? That's what you need to think of. These are the banking infrastructures and powers that be. But here's the thing, is we've been taught that banks are intermediaries. They're helping us, right? They're providing a service to you by helping you to be able to get funding. They're lending you money and you're depositing money, which we're gonna look at in a second. That's not even true. But our banks, nice, friendly, humble intermediaries. Check out this clip.
With that, it's clear there is a high price that we're paying for this, what should be a humble intermediation service that's being performed. And the salaries that are being paid are, famously very high, which is very strange if they're just intermediaries.
Logically, where does that end up?
I think there's a structural problem. That is the concentration of the banking.
Okay, so you heard it. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely, that's actually another line from this video that's a famous quote. Because, guys, what we're realizing is that these central banks, they have become the authority in the world, and they're for-profit businesses. Don't let them tell you anything else. And the thing is you believe that you take your hard-earned money and you go to the bank and you deposit it and they take that money. And we're all talking about XRP and transferring all this money around the world and all this stuff, guys. What if I told you that's all fake? What if I told you that our entire world financial system is a giant Ponzi scheme? Check this out, and then I'm gonna come tie that up here in just a second.
Okay. Because what we call a deposit is simply the bank's record of its debt to the public. Now, it also owes you money, and its record of the money it owes you is what you think you're getting as money, and that's all it is. And that is how the banks create the money supply. The money supply consists to 97% of bank deposits. And these are created out of nothing by banks when they lend, because they invent fictitious customer deposits. Why? They simply restate, slightly incorrectly in accounting terms, what is an accounts payable liability arising from the loan contract having purchased your promissory note as a customer deposit, but nobody has deposited any money. I wonder how the FCA deals with this, because in the financial sector, you're supposed to not mislead your customers.
So what do? They buy securities. Why are they buying securities? What is the big plan here? What is a security? It's something that holds value. I don't know the exact definition, but it's something that holds value you can exchange for cash for. It's not liquid. Security is not necessarily liquid. You got to make a security liquid, right? So in essence, a security is property, right? Guys, the elites are trying to buy all the property. They already tried World War II. They already tried to take everybody over. That didn't count, okay? Now, they had to do it a different way. So they've been doing it a financial way, and this is why the Great Reset is own nothing and be happy, because they want the elite to own everything. And if you were an elite, you would probably want to own everything too. Let's just be honest about it, guys. I think we got to get away from thinking that these people are like evil, because they're different and they're in a different place in the world than we are. And if we were in their situation and we had trillions of dollars and we're like, well, shoot, something might happen to this planet, we might should get off of it somehow. You might want to control the system too. I don't know, I'm just saying, you don't have the absolute power, so you don't know how it's going to corrupt you absolutely. But what I do know here is that crypto and blockchain has been part of this plan, and it's obvious now, okay? At some point, the elite realized that their Ponzi fiat system was not going to be able to get them to the finish line. What's the finish line? Owning everything. That's the finish line, okay? Well, there's like 6 companies that own everything. Do the research. Look at the media, it's all one group, okay? Guys, they want to own everything, but it has to happen over a long period of time. So like Lynette Zhang always says, it's got to happen over time. It's got to look normal. So now, moving everything over to tokenization, this is the next phase of the Ponzi to get all that's happening. Let me tell you what the entire world financial system is. You want to hear it? Again, the crypto market's all fake too, but it's just part of the big fake system, okay? Here's the truth. Here are the facts, okay? There is an elite class that is trying to buy up everything. The fiat system did not allow them to get there yet. So they have to kick the Ponzi scheme down the road, kick the can down the road, create another Ponzi to be able to pad it over the next 50 to 70 years while they try to get up everything that they can. And they're winning, they're doing it. So, you can see it from a corporate perspective, how many corporations own almost everything. Look at all the land being bought up, all the farmland. It's hard to find 500 acres in America anymore, to be honest with you. For hunting land, I know that. I was looking recently, and it's hard to find. So the point is that they are buying up everything, and crypto has been part of the plan, the tokenization of the world, okay? And look, the world's getting tokenized. The CBDCs are coming one way or the other, one way or the other. There is an alternative. When we get to the 25th video, we're going to talk about what that is. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video on central banks. This is the way the banking works, guys. This is the real way the banking works. All of these national banks, they just sit up under BIS and they do the bidding of the people at the top, and then it carries on underneath. Now, next, when we get into the next 2 videos here, we're gonna be splitting this tree here, and we're gonna be starting, and we're gonna look at the network of value in the world, and we're gonna do the next video, we're gonna look at the network of information in the world. It's information and news and policy and all that stuff. So I hope you guys are enjoying this video series. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, BitBoy out.